What's a hack in your industry that customers aren't supposed to find out? Orchestral violinist. Sometimes we don't play all the notes. I worked at a restaurant and one time the chef burned the apple sauce that was supposed to be served with the pork chop. He put it on the menu as smoked applesauce, and people loved it. Just because you're on hold doesn't mean we can't hear you. Good audio engineers will have faders/knobs that don't do anything. When the talent asks for a change that's goofy or makes no sense, we'll adjust that phantom knob and watch them nod their head in approval of their amazing idea. This was 6 to 7 years ago, so may not be relevant, but when I worked at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, the higher-ups were so tunnel-visioned on positive customer reviews that if there was any problem at all we would write off anything from gas to whole days of rentals. We had a few repeat customers that would catch on and habitually complain about dumb shit to get parts of the bill discounted. Only a rating of completely satisfied counted, and it was tied to bonus and promotion, so a huge incentive to make people happy. When I worked in a hotel as a night porter, the room cost was totally reliant if you were a dick or not. I obviously couldn't just give rooms away, but I could pretty much knock off 50%. One day a very tired woman came in with her baby and I couldn't get the payment to go through at all, so I did give it to her for nothing, just had to make sure she was out before 9 a.m. and I cleaned it myself. Thank you for all the upvotes, awards and kind words. If you or a teenager you know are admitted to a name brand/expensive/rich college and their financial aid package isn't enough, write them and ask them for more money. Mention the other schools you were admitted to and that you received strong financial packages from them. Do not mention specific numbers unless it's a named scholarship, e.g., presidential or provost. At least 5 of my students this year got between 10-20K extra in scholarship money just by soliciting for it. Dog trainer, this is a hack we want people to understand. One reason we can get your dog to do something so fast is because we use a high rate of reinforcement. Example, I'm training your dog to walk on leash without pulling, and we practice in your driveway. I feed the dog 20 tiny pieces of food by my knee as we walk to the end of the driveway. The first time a client tries the exercise they may use 5. The mechanics of the exercise look easy, but it takes time to get used to. And when people are practicing on their own they do other things, instead of focus on the exercise. They forget how often they need to reinforce the dog for doing the right thing. If they do the exercise for 2 minutes during each walk, with a high rate of reinforcement, roar, that may be all it takes. And once the dog starts to learn, you can gradually slow down the roar. You can rent a nice casket for the funeral and be buried in a cheaper one. I used to work in the floral industry. Don't call a large national florist. Look up a local florist in your recipient's area and call them directly. Most have websites to help you choose, and you'll save money on delivery and service fees, which can go towards a nicer arrangement. Also, unless you order flowers regularly, the membership/loyalty program is a scam and hard to cancel. When a car salesman offers you a premium car care package, don't buy it. It's a scam. Say you're buying a new car and I offer you the premium car care package. It'll only cost you X amount of money per month, but every time you come to the dealership, you get premium car wash. We hose it down, not a proper car wash. Interior detailing and rejuvenation, we use compressed air to make the dust go away. Sometimes a man uses a wet paper towel. Functions check and clock synchronization, check if all the lights work, heater and AC work, and set up the clock if it's wrong. Summer and winter inspection and free wiper fluid refill, only done once per season. Check tire tread, visually check tire pressure, look at temperature gauge to make sure car isn't overheating, and add water in the summer, tiny amount of wiper fluid in winter. Visually inspect brake discs to see they are not scratched by worn-out brake pads. Assistance when you are on the move, you call us and then we can call a tow truck for you, at your expense, only possible during business hours. Basically, we charge for simple things you can do yourself. Also, if a car dealership sells you a used car and they told you it has been fully serviced, take it to your local mechanic and have it serviced properly. Any Marriott booking made partially with points, with a 3-day cancellation policy, can be cancelled the same day of the booking without any fees. Most industries have retention teams because it costs 10x more to get a new customer than it costs to keep one you have. So if you call up and complain/threaten to cancel every other time they raise your rates, they'll probably give you the introductory rate. Just be aware you might have to switch. Edit, threaten to cancel added. Edit 2. Another thing I'm seeing a lot is people getting shut down with no explanation. People hang up and call back. Just say you got disconnected, you might have better luck with another operator. Yes, they take notes, but some reps are more empowered than others. Also feel free to escalate. Make sure you know how long you've been a customer, and how long you've been up to date on your bill. Not sure if your homeowner's insurance will cover something? Apply this one simple rule. Was the damage caused by a sudden and one-time occurrence? If the answer is yes, 99% of the time you're covered. If the answer is no, 99% of the time you're not covered. This advice applies to the US. Our physical presence/approach toward the user will sometimes fix the problem they are facing without any additional effort, IT support. When I worked as a pharmacy tech, I spent a lot of time calling insurance companies and waiting on hold while the world burned around me. One time I got impatient with the voice recognition bot because it kept hearing background noise and made selections impossible, so I started cursing it out. Turns out if you say the F word a few times in a short span, the bot recognizes you as an angry customer and will switch you to a representative real quick. I did this multiple times to a lot of strange looks from my coworkers until I explained the hack. Quick edit: since I'm getting a lot of the same responses, I now know that you can spam 0 or hashtag to get the same results. It's a feature being phased out in places. Shouting representative or operator also works. Consulting, we don't know either. Therapy cash pay rates are negotiable at many private practices if you are uninsured or your insurance does not cover behavioral health. Lean into the bite. I work in pediatrics and we're re-taught that if a child bites you, lean into it, push whatever part of you they're biting further into their mouth, because their automatic reaction will be to open their mouth and the risk of them breaking your skin is greatly diminished. Source: I was just bitten at work. Face with rolling eyes. Edit, a word and grammar. Also, how the hell is my most upvoted comment about being bitten at work? Face with tears of joy. Hospital bills are negotiable, to a degree. Always ask for an itemized bill and put some effort into analyzing it. If you know you're shipping something within a few hours' drive of you, always pay for the cheaper shipping option. The premium shipping option is just a markup if you know you're sending something close by. It will arrive the same day regardless. If you're nice to my receptionist, I will find a way to squeeze you onto my schedule. If you're AB, then you can have whatever the next available appointment is. If you make the office staff cry, you get a certified letter firing you from the practice. Just ask customer service for a replacement. Doesn't matter if you didn't buy an extended warranty. Doesn't matter if there was no warranty to begin with. A lot of companies just want to resolve customer complaints quickly and will give you free replacements on request. Computer engineer here. We ship so many products that have broken features. The product is fused at the factory to disable features that just didn't bake fully before we needed to ship. Every product I ever worked on has a half-dozen bugs that we could have fixed if only we had more time and money. Eventually you have to say, it's good enough, and ship something to make money. If you buy flights through Spirit at the airport, one of the random fees, it's called the user fee or something like that, doesn't apply, so they cost like half as much. I've flown round trip to Chicago for $30, Houston for $45, Miami for $50, etc. If you use Libby to download ebooks from your library to your Kindle, you can turn it to airplane mode and keep the books as long as you want. The next person in line is not affected. Edit, because not everyone wants to illegally download ebooks from sketchy servers in Tuvalu. It's not any easier than what I suggested.